In a development that stunned diplomats across the Western Hemisphere, Mexico reportedly thwarted a plot to assassinate Israel's ambassador, Einat Kranz Niger. The alleged attempt, said to have been orchestrated by Iran's Revolutionary Guards, marks a chilling extension of Middle Eastern hostilities into Latin America, a region historically distant from such geopolitical confrontations. As the accusations surface, they raise troubling questions about how far Tehran and Tel Aviv are willing to carry their shadow war, and what this means for countries caught in between. According to statements from Israel and the United States, Mexican security and intelligence agencies intervened to foil a plan that aimed to kill the Israeli ambassador in Mexico City. The operation was reportedly planned by the Quds Force, the elite external operations arm of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, sometime in late 2024. A US official, speaking anonymously, claimed that the plot had been contained and no longer posed an immediate threat, though no specific evidence or operational details were made public. Israeli authorities expressed gratitude toward Mexico's law enforcement agencies for their role in preventing the attack. In diplomatic circles, the incident has been viewed as a major security success for Mexico, which rarely finds itself in the crossfire of Middle Eastern rivalries. The most striking element of the alleged plot is its Latin American connection. According to US intelligence assessments, Iranian operatives reportedly sought to recruit individuals through Tehran's embassy in Venezuela. The South American nation, under President Nicolas Maduro, maintains a close tactical alliance with Iran, which includes military cooperation, trade in energy, and coordinated resistance to US sanctions. Venezuela's long-standing hostility toward Israel and its support for Iran's positions in global forums have made it a potential staging ground for Tehran's activities in the region. Reports suggest that Iran's diplomatic missions in Caracas have long been used as conduits for covert operations, including recruitment surveillance and intelligence gathering. While no direct Venezuelan involvement in the assassination plot has been confirmed, the allegation underscores how Iran's networks have expanded deep into Latin America, particularly in nations aligned against US influence. To understand the context behind this alleged assassination attempt, one must look back to April 1st, 2024. On that day, Israeli fighter jets targeted Iran's embassy complex in Damascus, Syria, a key outpost for Tehran's regional strategy. The strike killed several senior officers of the IRGC, including high-ranking members of the Quds Force. Israel justified the attack as a preemptive measure against Iranian plots targeting its territory and personnel, but the bombing drew widespread condemnation for violating diplomatic norms. Iran's leadership vowed to retaliate. Within days, Tehran launched a barrage of missiles and drones toward Israeli targets, marking one of the most direct confrontations between the two adversaries in years. The tit-for-tat escalated rapidly, pushing the Middle East into one of its tensest phases since the 2020 assassination of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. The situation took an even deadlier turn a year later when Israel launched an extensive bombing campaign inside Iran. The strikes, reportedly aimed at military and nuclear facilities, resulted in over 1,000 casualties. The United States, Israel's closest ally, joined the operation by targeting critical sites associated with Iran's nuclear program. This new wave of hostilities effectively shattered any remaining diplomatic restraint between the two nations. For Iran, the losses were devastating, not only in terms of military personnel but also in symbolic value, as the strikes occurred within its own borders. Analysts believe that the alleged plot to target Israel's ambassador in Mexico was conceived as part of Iran's global response strategy, intended to signal that it could reach Israeli interests anywhere in the world. The US official who briefed the press characterized the alleged plot as part of a broader pattern in Iran's foreign operations. For decades, the IRGC's Quds Force has been accused of carrying out or sponsoring attacks against diplomats, journalists, and political dissidents abroad. Western intelligence agencies have tied Tehran to attempted assassinations in Europe, Africa, and Asia, including efforts to eliminate opposition figures and perceived Israeli or Western collaborators. Most recently, Australia expelled Iran's ambassador over what it said was evidence of Iranian involvement in two arson attacks, one targeting a synagogue in Melbourne and another a kosher restaurant in Sydney. Though Tehran denied any connection, the incidents reinforced global concern over Iran's transnational operations and their potential to destabilize other regions. Latin America has not been entirely free from the shadow of Middle Eastern conflicts. In 1994, a devastating bombing at the AMIA Jewish Community Center in Buenos Aires killed 85 people and injured hundreds. Both Argentina and Israel later accused Hezbollah, a Lebanese militant group backed by Iran, of carrying out the attack. That bombing remains one of the deadliest terrorist incidents in Latin American history, and a chilling reminder of how far-reaching these rivalries can be. Today, Iran's influence in the region is more sophisticated. Through diplomatic missions, trade agreements, and military exchanges, Tehran has built networks across Venezuela, Bolivia, Nicaragua, and Cuba. Experts suggest these relationships provide Iran with logistical flexibility and potential safe havens for covert activities, particularly as it seeks to circumvent Western sanctions. For Israel, the alleged plot reinforces its long-standing concerns about Iran's reach. Israeli intelligence agencies have consistently warned that the Quds Force has been expanding operations in Africa and Latin America, using proxy networks and local recruits. Tel Aviv's security doctrine increasingly views Iranian actions not merely as regional provocations, but as elements of a global confrontation. Since the 2023 Hamas attack on Israel, an unprecedented assault that killed over 1,000 Israelis, the country has expanded its counterterrorism and intelligence operations worldwide. Its subsequent military campaigns have extended into multiple theaters, including Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen. The addition of Latin America to this list would mark a significant geographical escalation, transforming the conflict into one with near-global dimensions. Mexico, which traditionally pursues a policy of non-intervention in foreign conflicts, now finds itself unexpectedly drawn into the tensions between Iran and Israel. The country has maintained formal diplomatic relations with both nations and has long recognized Israel's statehood. While it has supported international investigations into alleged war crimes in Gaza, Mexico has avoided the outright condemnations voiced by other leftist-led Latin American governments such as Colombia or Chile. The discovery of an assassination plot on its soil presents a serious challenge for Mexico's government. It must now balance its commitment to neutrality with the responsibility of ensuring the safety of foreign diplomats. At the same time, it faces the risk of becoming a new arena for covert regional rivalries. The alleged plot raises several unanswered questions. How deep are Iran's operational networks in Latin America? What measures are regional governments taking to monitor or counter them? And perhaps most importantly, will this incident push Mexico and other states closer to Western security alliances in an effort to contain such threats? For Iran, the accusations add to an already growing list of international disputes. Tehran has remained silent on the matter, neither confirming nor denying the allegations. This silence mirrors its response to previous incidents, where plausible deniability serves both diplomatic and strategic purposes. Meanwhile, Israel and the United States continue to frame the incident as evidence of Iran's expanding global aggression. Yet, without the release of concrete evidence, the story remains partly shrouded in speculation, reflecting the murky nature of modern geopolitical conflict, where covert operations and counter-operations unfold far from public view. The alleged plot to assassinate Israel's ambassador in Mexico represents more than an isolated act of espionage. It symbolizes how the Iran-Israel confrontation, once confined to the Middle East, is increasingly global in scope, spilling into regions as distant as Latin America. Whether the details of the case are ever fully revealed, one fact remains clear: the boundaries of modern conflict are no longer geographic. In an interconnected world, wars of ideology, influence, and revenge now traverse continents, leaving even neutral nations vulnerable to the aftershocks of distant enmities.